following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Welcome to the Heels and Quads Wrestling Podcast. A fully loaded edition. Yeah. About one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. WCW's New Blood Rising.
What day is it again?
Tuesday. Monday. It's Monday. Oh, shit.
When you're down in the dumps and you need something to bring you.
Hey Domino's, if you want to sponsor the show for giving Levi the shits at 2 a.m., you can email us at heelsandquads@gmail.com.
And everybody's just having a good old fucking time here. They're having a great time at Bash at the Beach.
Because it was free.
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
The show must go on, but things must go wrong.
I wanted to have a fucking puke bucket next to me and be like, oh my god, he's gonna puke.
There's something wrong with me. I'm gonna go, look, dude, I'm in a big league again.
Look, dude, do you know who I am and do you know how much money I've made doing it?
Wrestling is so fucking stupid, dude. God, I love it.
New World Order.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Heels and Quads Wrestling Podcast. I got a shit-eating grin on my face because it's been a while since we recorded an episode.
Dude,
April 7th or something?
April 12th.
April 12th was our
Almost
last episode.
3 full months.
Yeah, it's July 8th. So, yeah, we almost waited 90 days for everybody to listen to an episode, but
We had to get that no-compete clause out of the way.
yeah, it was the no-compete thing. We always return at some point with some content for you, though. But, I mean, it's been a good, for both of us, busy 3 months. It's the summertime. People are back out doing things. So naturally,
Thank God.
we are busier. Yeah, it is nice. And I had COVID. I've been through it all. Like it's been a good a lot of catching up.
That was the most I talked to you in the 3 months was when you had COVID.
Yeah,
and then Father's Day we talked on the phone for a little bit because I was getting a new phone and you're my Apple guy. So
oh yeah, that's right. Which one did you end up going with again?
The 12 Pro. I didn't get the Max.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
so
good,
yours is
I'm
the
good
same
with,
size as mine.
Yeah, I'm good with the smaller screen. I don't need the big Mac Daddy screen. It's too much in my pocket.
6.1 inch, man. A lot of women would appreciate 6.1 inches.
You know,
so it's good phone.
With the Vansky though, I can only have so much in around my pocket area at once.
It's the Vansky and the Girthsky. But yeah, that was when I had COVID. It was right before my busy season started. So I literally came back to work on Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like right after your birthday, right?
I woke up on my birthday with COVID. That is the day I started showing I was sick. I had contracted it the Thursday before. My birthday is the 18th, May 18th. And the Thursday before that must have been when I got it because I went to town and ran some errands. And I mean, I don't know how. I wore a mask. I washed my hands. I used sanitizer. Like if I touch anything in public, my hands go nowhere near my face.
Yeah.
And I even like grab pouches out of my can with my tongue if I've touched anything. But that's the only thing I could think of. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of that gave it to me. And then in-laws and family was in town that weekend. Luckily, my mom's vaccinated. But on that Sunday, I wrestled around with my nephew and hung out with them. And he did get COVID from me. But he was fine. I mean, kids don't really
He's
get
a
it
kid.
as bad.
Yeah.
And then I think my sister-in-law kind of got it. And then Monday, I kind of felt like I was having some allergies. Like throat was just itchy, kind of like, oh man, the pollen's real thick because it was at that time.
Yeah.
And then the next day, my birthday, Tuesday, I literally woke up just fucking sick. Like
you were dead.
But I was dead. Yeah. I was the dead man. man, my head was just so like there was so much
Told you I
pressure.
would get COVID, and I did, but I returned.
And I did.
You should have came back to work with Roland playing
I should have came back as the American Badass
with a bandana
sure.
on and a leather trench coat.
Damn it!
You didn't have me
That's a
booking the
good play.
territory.
Well, nobody was. I was booking. I mean, I was out.
You had the
Who's
book.
gonna do it? I had the book, dude.
I was running Marks. After dark on the Talking Shop Patreon. Nice little plug there. Patreon.com/Talking.
Anyways, 10 days of that. Mariah we were sleeping in separate rooms, trying to avoid her getting it. She eventually
got it.
She was worse than I was. She had an inhaler and I didn't have the coughing part of it wasn't as bad for me, but it was just like I felt like I had a severe sinus infection plus a little bit of a cough. And she ended up she was had a sinus infection ish, and then the coughing was just fucking nonstop. To the point where I was like, "Oh my god, shut up!"
Shut the fuck up.
She can't help it, So yeah, so that sucked. And then eventually we were just like, "Fuck it, let's just sleep together again," because clearly, we've both tested positive for it. And then even after my quarantine, I still tested positive, but I read on the CDC that I could test positive for 3 months after, but with that home test because it does the antigens or whatever. So. Luckily, I didn't have it as bad as some people. I mean, even she didn't have it as bad as some. We didn't go to the hospital. So, but I am going to get vaccinated now.
I did.
You did? You got the Pfizer?
I got the Moderna. I got the Dolly vaccination.
The Dolly Parton?
It's weird, man, because, I had, the Marks group and they all got vaxxed because we all went to Baltimore together. And then Amanda got vaxxed. And everybody told me, the first one is not so bad. Your arm's a little sore. You might feel like you got a little bit of a cold, whatever. The second one, though, is going to knock you on your ass. So I got the first one. His arm wasn't even sore. I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, shots aren't that bad.
Second one, I kind of felt a little bit of something in my arm. But, I was like, it's not as bad as people make it out. I never felt sick or anything. I did get sick after I came back from Baltimore. I had a fucking, it was either a sinus infection or just a really bad head cold. But for that first week I came back, I felt like shit. But I think it's also because I was on a plane, all that shit. And that's a cesspool.
I mean, you breathed in different air. The Baltimore air is probably not clean.
Yeah. And you have to wear a mask the whole time on the plane unless you're drinking, which I drank the whole time. That's a whole story. But yeah, I mean, other than I felt fine. It wasn't a thing. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not with CDC, but I advise people to get vaccinated.
I mean,
that's
the
my
2 weeks.
opinion.
Is the shots 2 weeks apart? Is that the deal?
Pfizer's 2, Moderna is 3.
What's the difference in Pfizer and Moderna? It's the same thing.
It's just a different person making it, or different
brand
company,
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta get it, man. I don't want to get that shit again. Yeah. It was kind of scary. I mean, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna get worse. I don't know if it's gonna get better. It was fucked. So yeah, that sucked.
I'll tell you guys about my experience with.
Yeah, I'm curious about this plane ride.
Okay,
is it the plane ride from hell?
It is indeed the plane ride from hell.
2.0.
So we had the show at Jimmy's Seafood in Baltimore on June 13th, I believe. It was a Sunday. So I'm supposed to fly in on Saturday, the Saturday before, so the day before. A lot of the group got there Friday. And I was at work while everybody's getting there, and I'm seeing pictures of it, and I'm getting excited because before I was I'm tired of talking about this. I've put it over. I'm ready to just get there and have fun. So, so Friday, come home, get all my stuff around, get the Jeep packed up, ready to go. We go after I got off work Friday night. We left. We went to Springfield, stayed the night in a hotel. Tommy and Amanda stayed in a hotel with my sister and my nephew the whole weekend while I was gone. So until Monday morning.
Oh, they stayed in Springfield.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because there's no point in coming back, and burning gas and everything. And that's a little vacation for them. They had a pool. They ended up going to Whitewater, the water park in Branson on Sunday while I was. Anyways, so Saturday, go to the airport at 12:30, 12:40, something like that. Because originally my flight was supposed to leave at 8 a.m. Here's the best part. Okay, my flight was originally supposed to leave at 8 a.m. from Springfield to go to Chicago, connect
Then
to go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
So 3:30 in the morning, I get a text. I'm sleeping with my phone in my hand because I don't want to miss my alarm. Like, I don't want to miss any, updates, weather, whatever, because we drove through like a fucking big ass storm Friday night going to Springfield. 3:30, my phone goes off. I'm like, I think it's time to get up and go. And I look at my phone. It's a text message from United Airlines because Rocky Romero booked me on United Airlines. And I'm looking at my phone. It's like, your flight has been delayed until 2:40 p.m. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm only going to be there for 2 days, and now you're cutting into that time.
Yeah.
So now instead of having like almost 48 hours, I have like 30. So I'm
30.
like, fuck, I'm bummed out. Like, I'm already like, fuck, I don't even want to go now. Like, I'm just pissed off. That's like half my day. Anyway, so I was like, okay, whatever. Get to the airport, 12:30, 12:40, waiting. They push us back a little bit. It was like 15 minutes, but no big deal. We board the plane. We're sitting there. We're delayed another 10, 15 minutes. Okay, I'm still going to make my connection because I had an hour layover. I'm good. I can run from gate to gate, make my flight. Then
Home Alone style.
Yeah. So they're like, the captain comes over the loudspeaker. If anybody wants to get off the plane, we're going to be taking off in about 15 minutes. But if anybody needs to use the restroom or grab a snack or whatever, go ahead and go. And like the guy, I have to sit next to one fucking asshole on the plane, right? And he's like, oh, sit down. It's not that long. You can wait. It's a 50-minute flight. So I'm like, dude, can you just not? Like, because I'm already mad. Everybody comes back on. We're sitting there for a minute. I'm like, why are we not leaving the terminal yet? What the fuck's going on? And captain comes on the loudspeaker. We've been pushed back another hour. We can't leave you on the plane. So you're going to have to get off the plane. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to make my connection. So I go back to the bar. I FaceTime Jeremy, one of the guys in the group. And I'm like, hey, man, it's not looking good. I'm not making my connection. I'm gonna see if they've got something else tonight. I get a drink because I'm like, I gotta calm my nerves before I talk to this, ticket agent or whatever. And I'm like, hey, is there any? I was the last one in line of the whole plane, by the way, because I was like waiting. I was trying to be patient, be nice. Nothing they can do, not their fault.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there any way you can get me to Baltimore tonight? And she looks, no. Okay, can you get me to Baltimore in the morning? No. Hey, when can you get me to Baltimore? Well, it'll be tomorrow night, which would be Sunday, the day of the show, 9:30 p.m. is when you would land. I'm like, show's pretty much going to be over by then.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. So I text them and I'm like, hey, and they said, well, see if you can get flown into DC. Lori from the group will come pick you up. I said, all right, we'll try that. I said, can you get me into DC tonight? No. And then she keeps looking. She's like, I can get you on the exact same flight you were originally supposed to have, which I would be getting there at 1 o'clock into DC instead of Baltimore. Would that work for you? And I go, absolutely. Fuck yeah. And she goes, well, I'm going to have to charge you a fee because you're changing your final destination. And that's when I got a little mouthy. I'm like, hold on a second. So I'm having to change my final destination, have somebody come pick me up in a car an hour away from the original airport I was supposed to fly into. And you want to try to charge me for that? That doesn't work for me, brother. And so we're not going to do that. And she goes, let me see what I can do. So she calls down to her boss or whatever. And she's like, hey, this guy's, his flight got pushed back this morning. This flight's, he's going to miss his connection. I can get him into DC. And he's going to have somebody come pick him up from the airport there. Can we do that without charging him? And the boss was like, yeah, that's fine. Just try to help the guy out. Because I told him what I was doing.
What airlines was this?
United, which I've never flown United. I always fly Delta because I have the Sky Miles or whatever for it.
Well, and they have the Biscoff cookies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The Eric Bischoff
Bischoff.
cookies.
Yeah, they got the Bischoff cookies.
But anyway, so played out, whatever. It's good. We're good to go. She's like, sir, I just wanted to let you know I've bumped you up to first class for your flight tomorrow.
Oh.
Now we're talking my language. So originally I was going to get charged.
Works for me, brother.
And originally I was going to get charged for changing my destination, and I was going to have to sit and coach.
Yeah.
Then they waive the fee and I get bumped up to first class. I'm like, I like this. I can work with
Not too
this.
shabby.
So Amanda and my sister come pick me up from the airport, go back to the hotel, pound some beers because I'm pissed, but I'm kind of happy now because I'm like, this is kind of cool. I'm getting like a delayed entrance.
Now, does this count for round trip? Like you get first class on the way back too?
I did not get first class for the way back.
Okay.
And obviously, not to kill the story, but obviously I made it back. So
Yeah.
So Sunday I get there to the airport, delayed.
Oh my God.
And I've got like a 45-minute layover in Chicago, so not as much time. And I'm starting to sweat a little bit. I'm like, I'm not even going to make it there at all. Great. And I just spent $300 on a fucking hotel for the weekend for them. Like, I mean, yeah, it's nice we got out of town, but I could have been working and making money, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and they delay us 20 minutes or whatever. And this guy's like, I'm not going to make my connection flight. He was sitting directly behind me. And I kind of felt bad. And then he started like swearing at the flight attendant. And I was like, all right, come on, man, give her a break. But then he told his story. So he was supposed to go the same flight as me originally. He was trying to go to Alabama, but for some reason had a layover in Chicago. I don't know how that works, but
Flight systems are fucking
I've
weird,
never understood
dude.
that. Like when I went to Tampa 12 years ago, I went from Springfield to Dallas to Tampa, which made no sense.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
Anyways, so he's like, I'm supposed to be at a funeral to bury my grandfather. You guys fucked. He's like, you fucked me yesterday, and now you're fucking me again. He was like, fuck you, fuck the captain, fuck this airline, fuck this whole bullshit flight. He's like, this is a fucking joke. And I'm like, God damn, dude. Like, I'm pissed, but this guy's on fire. And obviously what he was doing was more important than what I was doing.
Yeah.
So the flight attendant goes, I'm really sorry, sir. Let me go talk to the captain and see if there's anything we can do. He phones into fucking Chicago. And they're like, okay, for this, we'll get you guys to the front of the line, get you guys off the ground. Captain comes on, we're taking off in 3 minutes. If anybody wants to get off, go now. But if everybody, and I mean, the fucking plane, like, everybody's like, Rah! I'm like, the only other flight I've been on that felt like a party was Las Vegas. And I mean, everybody was just like, yeah, laughing. Now everybody's having fun. So we take off. Flight attendant comes over. Would you like a drink? I'm like, absolutely. I've got my card ready to go. I didn't think about it first class. I'm getting free booze, right? That's how it works. So I've already signed up for the app. Like I've got my card information in there. Just scan it and go and like pay for my drinks, whatever. So she just keeps feeding me vodka. Like I had 8 double vodka cranberries in 50 minutes. So I get to Chicago. There's no reason I should have been flying anywhere after that. Because I'm like, what's going on? So I eat a quick sandwich at one of the little like deli hub things I got there, like little kiosks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Sit down at the bar, eat that, have a beer. I'm good. I'm balancing out.
Have some more.
have some more alcohol. So then, board the plane, Chicago to DC, no issues. First class. Okay. I think I had 1 beer on that flight. I just at that point, I'm like, I need to slow down because I got to do a show tonight.
And I got to drink tonight too.
Yeah. So get there. Lori picks me up. Awesome. She had a sign waiting for me, which actually
only an hour from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like with traffic, it was like an hour 15, but
of course.
It's like 40 miles, I think.
Yeah.
But she's waiting for me in the bag check, and I didn't even check a bag or the baggage claim. She's got a sign that says Richard Vansky.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, and I came like,
that's good.
Kind of did the Scott Hall walk coming through.
That's good shit.
But yeah, that was cool. So when we rode together and then got to the hotel everybody was staying at, went up to Rex's room, which was a fucking party all weekend.
Oh, of course.
And of course, I missed everything but the last night because I ended up staying with him in the room that night. But anyway, so get to the room, change my shirt because, I sweat profusely. I'm just a sweaty mess all the time. My blood pressure's high. Should be on medication, don't take it. But I'm a sweaty mess, especially after a long day of travel. You just feel fucking gross. And
Oh yeah,
whatever.
you gotta
So
clean
then
yourself off.
Yeah, then I start meeting everybody, and everybody, excited. And I'm thinking, we got time, we can hang out. So I had a couple of beers in the room. Granted, this is all spaced out now. Like the wave of the vodka's gone. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
So 2 beers is nothing. Levi can attest to that. 2 beers for me is nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we all like start splitting Ubers to go from the hotel to Jimmy's Seafood. Get there, we're super early. We get out of our Uber, and like I'm walking up, and Rob is waiting for me up on the balcony. Rob, we've talked about him on the last couple of our shows here. He's on the March show with me, and he's like, "Get up here." So I'm like, there's a security guy, and he's like, ho, stops me. And Rob goes, "He's working the show." And he goes, "Oh, are you working the show?" I go, "Do you want me to call Rocky Romero right now?" He goes, "Okay, go ahead." So I walk in, and then like Rob is sitting with Uncle Bobby. He had lunch with Uncle Bobby, which everybody remembers him from the Hall of Fame. He inducted Sex Ferguson into the Heels and Quads Hall of Fame last year. So I meet Uncle Bobby finally in person. We're sitting around waiting. Everybody's kind of like snacking, eating appetizers, whatever. And then Rocky and Carl walk in, and like everybody's kind of like, whoa, Rocky walks over to me and he goes, "Hey, Tommy." I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "You're a lot bigger on TV." I said, "So are you, motherfucker." Carl comes up, gives me a knuckle bump, whatever, fist bump. And then I, introduced myself to the wives, which they were all cool. Doc was hanging out, whatever, doing his thing. So then he comes out. I finally get to meet him in person. Super cool. Obviously, they do the show. It's crazy, man. Like everybody in the group was just fucking getting hammered. I'd like to think that I was one of the most sober ones of the group, which is hard to believe, but it's true because I knew how early I had to get up to catch a flight the next morning.
Well, because we talked that Father's Day or whatever, and I asked about the show and stuff, and you said I might have had like 4 beers at the show.
I think I ended up having like 6, but still like,
not
that's
much
nothing.
for you. Yeah.
Right.
You're starting to maybe get a head change.
Yeah, I had a buzz. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all hung out. It was cool. They did the show, brought me up on stage, whatever. It was pretty cool. Like, got a hug from Carl finally when I came up. He gave me a big old brother hug. And then like show ended, we went backstage. So then we FaceTime Tommy and Amanda, and Doc and Carl are talking to him. Rocky comes in and talks to him because Rocky's like Tommy's.
Like, he's his hero.
He's it to him. So yeah, it was cool, and like got back to Rex's room, went to sleep for like 3 hours, got up at 5:30, paid $70 for an Uber to the airport from the hotel, which was a 15-minute ride maybe, but turned into like 7 because my Uber driver literally, I'm not lying, I watched the speedometer the whole time, 110 the whole fucking way from the hotel to the airport.
Jesus.
I was like, I got to get to the airport fast because I slept
and
in.
alive.
Yeah. But he was awesome, dude. And so I get home and I was like, Tommy, it was pretty cool that you got to talk to the boys on Daddy's phone, huh? He goes, I got to talk to Carl Anderson. It's like, because he's the only one he hasn't really got to talk to, but he was like,
nobody
I barely do.
Nobody gets to talk to Carl.
Yeah, but he was so pumped about it. It was cool. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. It sucked that I wasn't there as long as I wanted to be, but I got enough. I got the gist of it.
If I could have went, I would have absolutely had to have been on the flight with you because I've never flown. So like,
I
I'm
would have
still
held your
kind of
hand.
sketched by it. Oh yeah,
I would have held your hand.
You would have been holding my hand. I'd be like, yeah. I probably would have relapsed for that flight. I'd have to get back on some shit for that. I don't know if I could drink on one though, because I'd be all. You're already in air, and I don't know how it works with your brain. So
you're getting pretty good oxygen. I mean, it's like recycled, but it's good enough where you can drink.
Okay.
You could have had. I mean, usually a fourth of a beer gives you a head change. You could have had like an eighth.
No, okay. Now Mariah she took a flight to Austin. Of course, it goes Dallas and then Austin instead of just straight there.
Because that makes
Uh,
sense.
Because that makes a ton of sense. But
The
she
flight
said the
from
worst.
Dallas to Austin is like 15 minutes.
I mean, seriously, she said it was like an hour to Dallas and like 45 minutes to Austin, maybe. But she said that the worst, I think the most like butterfly part is landing. She said when you're going down, you kind of get.
That's one part of flying I've never been comfortable with is landing. I'm always like freaked out that the wheels are going to give out and the plane's just going to take a fucking.
I watched some videos on that, so yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that actually happened to Bon Jovi one time on their private plane that they have for the band. They were flying into I think Toronto. They landed and the wheel fucking hit wrong or something, and it fucking kicked it out, and they like were like screeching on the runway, and they like hit the fence or something. Yeah, it was wild. I remember that. It was like 2005, I think, is when that happened.
There's all the plane things freak me out, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know someday I'm gonna have to take a flight,
right?
But I need to. I don't want to have my first flight be to Paris. You know, I want my first flight to be to fucking Atlanta. Real quick, something.
Before I forget, I have to tell our listeners this. Like the Patreon knows because this happened to one of the patrons of the Talking Shop Patreon. Sal's bar tab was $926.58.
That's insane, man.
You want to talk about a fucking brother?
Yeah, that's wild, dude. He must make good money.
He was buying the boys fucking Don Julio shots, Terramana. Like, oh my god, like it was hilarious. But the funniest part is the whole show. I'm sitting next to the speaker, like next to Rocky, and like I saw he was drinking wine and his glass was empty. I'm like, where the fuck? Like, how are these servers letting his wine go empty? So I grab his glass from him and get him more wine. And then like he starts sweating and I grab a fucking towel and just dab him.
On Rocky?
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? I was like, just let it go, man. Just go with it.
How long's the whole show part of it?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours.
The whole hangout there.
Because the show was like 2 hours, maybe. Rob played a little longer. They ran out of shit to do or talk about, so they let Rob play a little longer. So yeah, the show was like 2 hours, and then we hung out maybe another hour and a half after that.
Okay.
And they just sat around and, because like the really marquee fans left, because like the Patreon, they're like our buddies, we don't see them as like, oh my god, they were on WWF Raw back in 2012. It's not a big deal anymore to any of us, especially me. Like I don't get really tricky, but I love them. I'm a fan of them. I still watch them wrestle, but sometimes I watch wrestling. Like I watched Dynamite last night with the group. It was good. Aleister Black debuted in AEW. He's now Malachi Black.
So his no compete is over. Okay. Yes. I listened to him on this one dude on YouTube, the Punk Rock MBA, Finn McKenty. He did his show and he was talking to him about that. And he just kind of had mentioned like things they were doing a few times. I was like, he's going to AEW. I mean, it's no duh. And then I noticed Zelina Vega's back on TV
with the Fed. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, whatever, dude. But I'm so just, I am at an all-time low of WWE interest. I just don't.
I have not watched since night one of WrestleMania.
I didn't even watch WrestleMania.
I almost didn't. Like there was a discussion. Like I looked at Amanda, I was like, I don't want to watch WrestleMania. I have no idea what's going on because I hadn't watched since SummerSlam the year before. Last year. And
I've had my.
I think the only reason I did that was because we did it on the show. We talked about it on the show. But yeah, I was like, I don't really want to watch WrestleMania. But then also Uncle Terry was hosting, so I was like, kind of feel like I'm obligated. I did watch the Hall of Fame the night before, which was cool, seeing the NWO go in, even though it was weird without like fans cheering and they piped in the crowd noise in the
At least the
Thunderdome or
fans
whatever.
are back now.
Yes,
I mean,
now.
that's cool.
Yeah, last night was AEW's first show out of Daly's place, and it was cool. And Jeremy was
wanna
at the
see
show
this.
last night, actually. Our friend Jeremy from Patreon.
Malachi Black makes
Let's
his
do
AEW
it.
debut.
Let's do a game whenever we do these from now on. How many times I can say the word Patreon? Take a shot.
Patreon. Yeah. Yeah, we got Andrade now. I mean, like, so as far as AEW goes, still love it. But, dude, I just haven't watched wrestling. And I feel like I'm so far behind now, like I've missed a lot. But Double or Nothing, I wasn't really into that card. That was the first show of theirs that I was just like, eh.
It was
like,
a good
I'm
show.
Sure it was good.
It really was.
But
yeah.
I just wasn't, I don't know. I'm ready to see the next big, like now that we got some pretty sweet talent also in AEW, like this is getting more exciting. So it's been a goal for a couple of weeks to watch wrestling again, which throughout the day today, I'll try to catch some clips of, like, I'm definitely about to watch this Malachi Black thing after this.
So next week, John Moxley returns. He's defending the IWGP US belt against our boy, the Machine Gun.
Oh,
so I'm super pumped for
I'm
that.
gonna watch that. Yeah. Andrade's around now. It looks like it was a good show.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, debuts are a big deal, so whatever.
Yeah, that was cool. And I was like, when the lights went out, before he came out, I was like, what? Like, everybody in the group was ahead of me. Obviously, everybody's always ahead of me. It doesn't matter if I have Sling or what I have. Somebody or two people were always ahead of me. So the reactions, I'm like, fuck. And I kind of knew who it was. Like, I had a feeling. And then when I saw him, I was like, I knew it. Damn it. I hate when I know, like when I feel like I know, and then it happens that way. But
I mean, there's a lot of good talent in AEW now, man. Like, I'm almost feel like I'm getting caught up today with this. Like, it's kind of wild, man. You got everybody. AEW is the shit, man. It's
Hangman's
great.
the number one contender, so we're getting Hangman and Kenny at some point. I'm assuming All In we'll get that. Full Gears in St. Louis in November. I kind of want to go to that.
That's right. Yeah.
Because if we go, we can get media passes, which would be awesome.
That would be sweet.
So
yeah, I need to figure that out.
That might be something we might talk about.
It's usually start of November-ish, something like that.
Yeah, it's like the 9th to the 13th, something like that. But
I'd love to go to that.
I'd like to go. I'd like to take the kids because it's been a long time since they've been to a wrestling event. And I actually bought Tommy the Series 4 Cody yesterday when I was at Walmart. I sent you a text with pictures that they had some. They had
Matt and Jeff were right next to each other.
Yeah. They had Santana, Ortiz, Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara, and Cody. And they had been using the Cody from the Fed when he had the mustache, though. So I was like, we got to get rid of that.
Yeah.
You need the good one. And
they didn't have a Cody?
No, not an AEW.
Okay.
Because I can never get him. He was always the hard one to get because he's kind of like the face. But the only one in that set they didn't have was the new Kenny, which I wanted for myself. Kenny!
Yeah. I got my figs back there.
I know you finally got it set up. Looks good.
Yeah, CDs and stuff like that.
So yesterday was the 25th anniversary of the formation of the original 3 in the nWo.
At Bash, right?
Bash at the Beach.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash posted an Instagram video on his feed last night, right before Dynamite started. I saw it, and he was at the, I think it was Daytona Center. He was in front of it.
Where that happened at.
Which was weird. I'm like, I don't know if he recorded it before, if it was actually the day, and he just saved it from before, but it was cool to see that, and he was talking about it.
Well, he lives down there, though, don't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he lives in Florida. I don't know where he lives exactly.
Not at Daytona Beach, yeah.
I got really nostalgic yesterday. When we started talking, I got excited when you were like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I was so pumped.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, I usually don't want to do podcasts, but I was like, it's been a while, and it's just nice to see Levi, honestly. But
it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
We're talking on the phone once or twice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I was like, holy shit. And it just happens to be this. Like, that's the perfect kind of little topic to talk about for a minute. Last night after we did the watch along, I got really nostalgic and like scrolling through Facebook or whatever. And like, I watched the nWo, the Revolution or whatever DVD that came out a few years ago. Kind of just to get a feel for the nWo again. But yeah, dude, like it's so weird. Like I remember when that happened. Like I was a kid. I was a kid, and obviously everybody knows I'm a huge Uncle Terry fan. That's like the one wrestler if I ever met, I would cry. Honestly, I would just break
like, oh
down.
my god, it's Uncle Terry.
I would lose my fucking shit.
Yeah.
But I remember, you know, the match and who's the third man and all that stuff, and then you know, here comes Uncle Terry, and everybody thinks he's making the save for Macho, and gets in the ring.
There was no thought of him being the bad guy.
He was like, you know, the John Cena of today, or I guess you can't really compare him to Roman Reigns anymore because now Roman's a heel, but I think he's still a heel. I'm assuming he is.
Don't fucking care either.
Don't care. But like he comes in the ring real quick, rips his shirt off real quick, like kind of walks over, like it looks like he's like kind of like pushing them back, like Hall and Nash. And then he just kind of stands in the corner and real quick, just as soon as he goes up for that leg, I remember being a kid going, what?
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I didn't care. Heel, babyface, Uncle Terry, Hollywood Uncle Terry, it didn't matter to me.
Dude, Hollywood Uncle Terry is my favorite. So my first recollection of that was when I was a kid. I wasn't watching wrestling in '96,
right?
But I was like 3. But
you weren't far behind though. You were late '97 because you were there for Kane's debut.
Yeah. So I had a Sting VHS called Sting Unmasked, and it was like an hour long or whatever. I still have it somewhere. I want to watch it again, but it showed that was in it, because back then, you know, you had like compilation VHSs or like a paper.
Yeah,
that was it.
And the pay-per-views wouldn't come out for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, it was a while after. Yeah. So I watched, like, it kind of showed Sting's up to that point. You know, it was pretty much 90s. Nothing like, not him and Warrior or anything back in the day, but it showed that, and I was like, holy shit, because I thought it was the coolest thing that Macho Man had his face painted too, and Lex had his face painted. I was like, this is so cool. They're all like Sting. And then Hogan comes out and does that, and like, I'm watching this in the peak of the NWO, like we're like 98 or
you already knew, but to
see it, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And it kind of took years going by for me to realize how big of a deal that was, because now, like, being older, I'm like, oh, that dude was like, I mean, he was the face of wrestling for him and Flair and Dusty and all that.
The only wrestler to ever be on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. He, I mean, a huge, like, he's just an icon, like a legit, like, icon.
He's the Babe Ruth of wrestling.
Yeah. And so that was kind of crazy to see that happen. And then, like, man, I had a red and black NWO shirt when I was in kindergarten. I wore it all the time. God,
I had so many fucking NWO shirts. I had the Rodzilla
and I still
one.
Want one.
Yeah,
I want another one, but
I know I was looking for my the tribal Hollywood shirt.
Oh yeah.
I was looking. It
was like 98.
I don't know. It's somewhere in a basket, and I was like, I'm not digging anymore because I slept in a little bit today. But
yeah, man, that's it's just, it never gets old too. Like the stories of the NWO, the videos, the matches. Even though for a while, like the main event matches with NWO, you know, it's gonna be 10 minutes and a bunch of fuckery, but it's still just nostalgic. Yeah, WCW was so awesome back then.
The build to that Hogan Sting Starrcade.
Oh my god! I mean, it's a year.
Year build. Sting didn't wrestle at all. He never talked. He did that one promo with the white and black, but it was like the original Sting. This was before the Crow Sting. He did that one promo on Nitro, and that was it for over a year.
That was.
And then he was in the rafters, and he would come down, and dude, like, that was so fucking wild. And like, obviously, you know, I'm NWO for life, but like, Sting was still fucking cool.
That was like my hero. Him and Stone Cold and The Rock at that time were my heroes, because I was like, this Sting guy is the coolest fucking thing. Like, he comes out of the ceiling and he's got this face paint. He doesn't talk. He's got a baseball bat, a leather jacket. So, man, and even then, like, being a kid,
the mechanic gloves.
Yeah, the mechanic's gloves always. Those. Everybody in school, like, till about second grade. Well, as long as WCW was around, everybody, dude, it was like there was the Goldberg light up shoes, and then everybody had Sting shirts, Sting masks.
Walmart
NWO,
was all
it was
wrestling.
Yeah, it was huge, dude. It was so big back then because the NWO had fucking it blew up wrestling.
Yeah.
Like it was probably still to this day the coolest time to be a wrestling fan.
Oh,
was
definitely.
back then. And it's better now than it has been in the last 10. The last 10 years have been rough. Like
Thanks
as far
to
as
AEW, Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, all the good stuff. Like the Fed, when it was no competition for the Fed for almost 20 years, you know, it just, or 15 years or whatever, like legit competition, you know. And it's still AEW still, I mean, I know people like to bicker about it, but AEW is not competition. WWE is a different animal. It's a corporate empire. I mean, it's just a different thing. But
another cool thing,
a good time.
Another cool thing about the NWO was the fact that Eric Bischoff, which, I mean, back then it was kind of like Vince. He would do commentary. Nobody knew he was really in charge.
Yeah,
like adults knew that Vince was running the show because he would do like CNN or whatever. It would be in a paper or something, USA Today.
Yeah.
But like kids didn't read that shit, so we didn't know. To us, Vince was just the commentator. Yeah. And that was the same with Bischoff. We didn't know he was the executive vice president of WCW. We just thought he was Eric Bischoff, the commentator. That's all we knew him as. And then, you know, when Piper comes out that one night and he's like, Eric Bischoff's really the one running the NWO. And then they had to bring him out and they did the whole thing in the ring where they beat up Piper and Hogan and Bischoff hug. And it's like, holy shit, like they got the office like working with NWO now. So you really thought NWO was taking over WCW. Then they did the, you know, NWO Sold Out, which was
not a good wrestling show.
Not a good wrestling show, but it was cool. Like they're getting on pay-per-view. Cool Then they had the NWO Monday Nitro where they took over the show and they had their own little logo on the stage and on the booth where they had the cool like beams or whatever, and they had the logo for that too. Man, it was
to 4, 5, 6-year-old Levi, this is all real shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, the NWO has taken over this company. And I had, at that time, dude, I had tons of wrestling toys. I still have them. But I had a WCW Nitro ring, and I played with that more than my Raw ring.
Yeah.
Because it was made a little better. It was cool.
Yeah, that Raw ring was big and bulky. And
it was cool.
Yeah.
But it was like, the Nitro ring was sweet because it had the turnbuckles were like, they were kind of like turnbuckles.
Yeah.
They had the same feel and everything. It was a sweet ring. And I still have my Hogan figure, my Macho figure. I have a Scott Hall, and then I have the ones in the package still. But yeah, dude, that was a sweet time to be into wrestling. I'm glad because it shaped my life. I was like, I'm never going to get out of this shit.
And you can switch the channels. And at that point, it took a little bit, but 96, I was mainly watching WCW because I'm like, Hogan's running wild with the NWO.
Sure. Yeah.
Then like Stone Cold starts to come up a little bit, and you're like, okay, I want to watch a little bit of Raw because I want to see what Stone Cold's gonna do. And then that next year, 97, you get DX, and then it's like DX and NWO. Which side are you on? I liked both.
That was crazy.
I would watch one and I would tape one.
Yeah, that's what we would do too. Yeah. I would wake up in the morning, and usually it would be Nitro that was taped, but sometimes depending on what was going on, like, because my parents, when I'd go to bed, they'd be watching Raw.
Right.
And I was like,
everybody watched it.
Yeah. But I mean, look at the numbers, dude. There was 6 point something ratings. It was fucking insane. Yeah. And now
bigger than that, some 11.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. The ratings were insane back then. And
I mean, it's skewed now because not as many people have cable or satellite.
Anybody that like Russo and his obsession with the ratings, like he's got to move on because that's not what it is anymore.
Bro,
I'm sorry, but it's just
move on, bro.
When I was writing the ratings, bro, and it's like, okay, well, when you were writing, it was also almost 20. It was 20 fucking years ago when you were writing, okay, or more than that. Now it's like 25 and beyond. But dude, like, it's just a different time, so time to move on about the ratings. And I still listen to 83 Weeks because, as all the fans of this know, like, I love Bischoff. Tommy loves Bischoff. He's just an intellectual human being, man. He's so smart.
I thanked him on Twitter yesterday, by the way.
You what?
I thanked him on Twitter yesterday from the show page, like
For what? Oh,
for the NWO. That was
Yeah.
that's his creation.
Well, Scott Hall was the brain. He had the idea, from what they say. Like they say
Yeah.
that Scott was the one that was like.
There's 7 sides to every story in wrestling.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Scott brought the idea to Bischoff or something. I think the first episode of 83 Weeks is creating the NWO.
Yeah.
So that's one but of course, like
they had that whole thing where they said Mabel was going to be the third man and all that shit.
Yeah, yeah. As much as I love Bischoff and all those figures in wrestling, like, and especially Vince Russo, like I don't hate Vince Russo. He just, I feel like a lot of they just bullshit comes out of their mouth. All of them. I mean, different percentages of bullshit.
They're carnies.
It's cover your ass. You have to cover your ass on certain things. So there's legal obligations involved, especially if Hulk Hogan's around.
Yeah.
Fucking take your ass to court. So.
Brother.
Didn't work for me, brother.
It's strictly business. And when you're with Hollywood, Meijin, you're with Hollywood for life.
So I have like a couple of questions in this regards to the NWO. We're going to play a little like speed round kind of thing. Who is your favorite NWO member and why? And who is your least favorite NWO member and why? And I think I know the answers to both. Let's do just Black and White and Wolfpack. We'll do that. We're not going B Team. We're not doing 2000.
Okay, so Scott Hall is my Black and White guy, of course. Now,
I was 50-50. It was either gonna be Hall or Nash.
Well, so if we're talking Wolfpack, like Nash, because I don't know, because Sting was in Wolfpack for a little bit. So
I just didn't like Sting with the red paint because it looked so greasy.
At the time, I was a kid and I thought it was the coolest thing that his face paint changed. Because at the time, I was like, oh my god, like Sting's in the NWO now.
Right.
Here he was fighting them, and now there's another part of the NWO. So that's when I had the shirt. I was like, well, I have to have a red and black NWO shirt. But I mean, Hall, I guess to your point, Hall and Nash is
kind of a package deal.
It's a package deal. And so that's my favorite.
That's fair.
Black and White NWO. And because like their tag team matches were just fun to watch. They blazed through the whole tag division, whooped everybody's ass, man. Yeah. And red and white or red and black, it's Nash or Sting. Macho is cool, but I've always loved Macho, but he's never been my favorite wrestler. And I love him. I love Macho. He's amazing, but he's never he's up there.
Great at everything.
Yeah, he's great at everything, but he's never been like, oh man, I'm a Macho fan, And then I am, but yeah. So anyways, that's probably, and the reasons why, because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are just fucking cool, especially now. As I've gotten older and just listen to them talk, I'm like, these dudes are literally the cool kids.
And Nash is like the coolest person to listen to do a shoot interview.
Oh my god!
Especially if he's drinking wine.
Yeah, he's drinking, and the way he talks, it's just awesome. And and then
Doc does the best Kevin Nash impression.
He did. I've heard it like once or twice, and it's just so he does.
You were on the show with us one time when he did it.
When he did the Nash one, and it was so fucking spot on. I was like,
we were all marking out for it.
Yeah. So what about yours? I mean, Hogan, clearly Hogan, right?
Hogan is my definite favorite of the
Black and White.
If I had to go Wolfpack, man, it's tough. I love
Wolfpack
Nash.
Wasn't super big. Like it didn't get.
I was kind of when Wolfpack came in, I kind of had switched over to the Fed more.
Yeah, that's
because it was kind of getting a little too much with the NWO.
Now. Yeah, we were all kind of burnt out on the shitty finishes and stuff by then.
Honestly, I'd have to say Wolfpack. I'm taking Nash out just because I didn't like him as much then as I do now. So I would honestly, this is gonna like kind of blow people's mind. I'm gonna have to go with Conan.
Yeah.
I always thought Conan was fucking cool as hell, dude. I don't know why.
I mean, he was pretty sweet.
Yeah. He was great on the mic, and amazing. I mean, he could work too. And I mean, still to this day, he's on Dynamite now the last few weeks, and he's cutting promos on fucking Tully Blanchard and shit. And I'm like, dude, fuck. Like, those two on the mic against each other was fucking magic. You got to go find that promo.
What was it? I listened to 83 Weeks recently. I didn't know it, but before WCW, like, Conan's like,
he's a big deal. AAA.
He ran AAA or something, didn't he?
Yeah, for a while. But he was the top baby face in AAA before.
That's it. He was like the Hulk Hogan down there.
Yeah.
nWo. Yeah, that's right.
And then he kind of did a little spot in WWF for just a quick, brief time. He was supposed to be Max Moon. He was the original Max Moon, and ended up I think he appeared once as Max Moon, and that was it. And then they it didn't work for him, brother, or whatever.
Yeah,
but then later
work for the Fed.
Later on, he ran AAA. Yeah, later on after WCW and all that stuff.
That's what it was. He was the big star.
Oh yeah,
did his thing and then came back and ran it. That's right.
What about your least favorite NWO member?
Let me bring up the list.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I got to bring up the list. NWO members. Yeah, I need to see the list before I can truly pick that, because I don't remember everybody. But this will spark. I'll be like, oh yeah,
I'll go because I'll know it'll segue into a spot that I know a lot of people have been waiting for.
Yeah,
my least favorite NWO member, Bret Hart.
Yeah, the NWO Silver or whatever.
Well, no, just when he came in, because at first he came in and he was with Hogan, and they did the tag match. It was Hogan and Bret versus Sting and Warrior. So he was in a little earlier before NWO 2000, but it just didn't fit. Bret wasn't NWO to me.
No, he was always babyface WCW.
Until the Hart Foundation in '97, when when they did the Canada versus US thing, and he was the big baby face in Canada when they would do Raw or whatever there, and then they would come to the States and he's the biggest heel in the company.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Del Wilkes, R.I.P. the Patriot.
Oh man, that's a tough one, dude. Because I could go on a list of people who, shit like that. I could go on a list of people who didn't belong there because it just got too big.
Yeah.
But where's Black and White?
Giant
or Red and Black.
Giant, because he would flip flop so much. He would be in the NWO one week, and the next week he wouldn't, and then he'd be back in the NWO.
Yeah.
I think he did
2 marks on his timeline.
I was gonna say it was either 2 or 3 times that he rejoined and
Wall Street.
That's IRS.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. Scott Norton. Yeah.
Ooh, I love Scott Norton.
I don't know if I don't remember a lot. So Louis Spicolli.
Yeah. He was a jobber in WWF, and then he got a job with ECW and kind of got over a little bit, and then he went to WCW, and then he joined the NWO, and he was only in it for 2 weeks, and then he died.
Okay, so as far as NWO, Horace Hogan. That's a no-go. Stevie Ray and Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Not an NWO guy for me.
No.
He was a WCW guy.
Stevie Ray wasn't an NWO guy either, really.
No. So those two, I could probably go with them. The Wolfpack, I don't think there was anybody really in that. I think Luger was Wolfpack for a while.
Yeah, he was.
But
he was never Black and White. He was only Wolfpack.
He was only a Wolfpack. Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't Black and White? I feel like I remember. No, because original Black and White, he was part of
He was
WCW.
going against them, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as I can't really say it because all these people I like, but it would be more they don't belong there.
Right. So that's like me with Bret Hart. He just doesn't fit.
Stevie Ray and Lex Luger just kind of could have stayed out of that.
Yeah, I almost said Stevie Ray originally, but then I thought about it.
Even Sting, I'm okay with him doing the NWO thing, the short period he did, because it was it was the good NWO. So he belonged on that side. It was good versus bad. So anyways, that's that. Shawn Michaels didn't belong in the NWO.
We didn't even talk about them coming to the Fed. To me, that didn't
Yeah.
count, other than Hollywood Uncle Terry going up against The Rock, which to me, I still think is
Oh man.
I think that's obviously Hogan slamming Andre is embedded to all of our minds as wrestling fans, but
But Hogan and
that-
Rock was a huge
that
deal.
stare off for that long and that crowd
Man.
going that crazy and how dead they were for the main, like that's to me, that's like the biggest WrestleMania moment.
And like we've talked about before, dude, like X17 is probably the greatest wrestling WrestleMania, but something about X8 just being so many people in the company, NWO was back. Like it was a huge deal. Austin being on kind of the mid card, not a huge fan
Yeah.
of.
Hall's
But-
stunner bump though.
Oh, so good. So good. That's why I also like Hall so much, because the motherfucker sells.
Yeah.
He's so good, man. And he should have had a world title. Gold Dust, Hall,
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect. Like those guys, those were
Owen.
world champions.
In.
Owen. Yeah. Owen taking the belt off Brett would have been amazing.
Ugh.
Because they could have had that, and if it doesn't work out, Brett can beat him at the next show.
Yeah.
You can have a 1 month champion. I like him every now and then.
Yeah, even do it like they did with Stone Cold and Kane at King of the Ring '98. Kane
Yeah.
beats him in the first blood match. Austin wins it back the next night. But
yeah.
Kane's title
With
reign
staph.
still counts. Yeah. Oh God, that was awful.
The staph infection. But yeah, that's that. What did you have another question?
No, I just was gonna see
that
if you
was
would
it. Okay.
if you would give everybody a little Bret Hart before we go. The Irishman.
Oh man, I haven't done it in so long. No, I don't think that I belonged in the NWO silver. I'm Bret the Irishman Hart, and I'm gonna drink to Jameson tonight, because that's what I like.
Pour one out
I'm
for
the
my brother.
$250,000 champion.
Pour
And
one
you
out
can't
for my
take that
brother
away
Owen.
from me. I'm watching out for my brother Owen. I watched out for him all those years. I drank Jameson and Bushmills with him.
Him and his wife
Until-
Marta.
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 Pornhub. I watched the Pornhub. That's it. That's all I got to say
Okay.
about it.
All right, that was great.
It was a bad one, but whatever.
Oh, we'll take it. It was better. Hey, you know what? It's been 3 months, so we'll take it.
It's been 3 months since I've done the Owen. Actually, it's funny because yesterday I was getting in the shower and I started doing it, and I was like, because I know tomorrow he's gonna ask.
He's
me
gonna ask.
to do this. I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I got off work last night and I was like, I have to practice this because I haven't done it in 3 months. So the last time I did it was that the WWE superstars joined the NWO, a Too Sweet tribute. Yeah, anyways. We'll do another NWO episode soon. We can do a pay-per-view or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
We had a request last night from Rex. He was like, he's going, he went cold turkey on us. He's not drinking until his birthday in October. But he said, if you do a watch along for Bash at the Beach, he said, I want to be there for it. So
Okay.
see if we can make that happen at some point.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to do these more.
Like for the whole show? The whole Bash at the Beach show?
That would be like a Patreon thing we would do.
Yeah. Okay.
Like just one, like if I'm off on like a Sunday night or something and nothing's going on.
We could do the watch along of the main on here.
Yeah, we could do
Keep
that.
it,
Yeah.
the hour episode type format.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with our schedules and stuff still, it being the summer and me starting this new job, I don't know what I'm going to, it's looking like I'm going to be off Sundays and Mondays, which works.
Yeah, that's good.
'Cause
I'll
we go back to our-
that soon.
Yeah. So, I mean, we might not do this every week, at least for now, and then try to do it more frequently than 3 months.
Yeah, yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be more frequent in 3
Yeah.
months. This is our illustrious return. It's just, like
I'm
I'm-
excited to see the numbers when this comes out because I know our
People are
back
wanting to watch
stuff, like we're still charting.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
After 3 months, like our numbers are really fucking good right now. And that's why when I texted you yesterday, I was like, please say yes or I'm getting a new host.
Yeah.
Because we got to get something out.
I would say by August, I should be back on my Sunday, Monday schedule. Okay. And that's not every Sunday, Monday, but I'll be back to that. It's just been like random days off.
Like after your big tournament, because that's what, the 22nd through the 25th, you said?
Yeah.
If we could get something, like, because obviously we don't need to do a show next week. This was a long one, and it was nice to return. 25th, that's through the Sunday. Would you think he would be off the 26th, maybe?
Should
that
be.
Monday?
Yeah.
We could shoot for that and get Bash in, do the watch along for the main.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue.
All right, cool. And if not, it'll be at some point that week when our schedules align.
Yeah, that week. One way or another, that week we'll figure that out.
By the end of July, we'll have another episode.
That week, I'll probably, after that tournament, I'll probably be like, I'm going to take Thursday or whatever slow day of the week off.
Yeah.
A slower day of the week. Yeah.
And like if I have to work during the day, we could always do it in the evening or whatever after Den.
Yeah, do our morning show or our night show, whichever one. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll have that probably coming. What is that? 2 weeks away? Where are we at in July?
8th. It's like 2 weeks.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate that that's so close. Not this. It's not this. It's
the tournament.
How close that is. Fuck. Yeah, the Bash will be good though. That'll be fun to watch and just watch Uncle Terry, because I love your commentary with Uncle Terry.
Oh man,
because you're like, he's hulking up, and I just get excited.
He's tarrying up.
He's tarrying up. There's deer walking around outside. I'm gonna go shoot him. All right. Well, I guess that about does it for the show. You know where to find Tommy if you'd like to hear more of him. Marks After Dark on the Talking Shop Patreon. Of course, ProWrestlingTees.com/heels and quads. Also, Marks After Dark merch on there.
Yeah.
And Collar and Elbow coupon code still works.
Yep.
Heels and quads in all caps checkout, 10%.
Go Green Hemp, I think still works.
Yeah.
Fully Loaded Shoe, I think that one still works. I haven't checked that one in a while. Man Can Line, I'm sure that still works.
There are good brothers.
Yeah. They need to send us some more wine.
They need to send a care package. I'm out. I need it. I need some vino.
But yeah, ProWrestlingTees.com/heels and quads. Of course, get all that vintage merch. Maybe we'll have a new one coming out pretty soon because everybody in the Patreon's already bought all the other ones. So it's time to. We've actually started making a little bit of money, Levi.
I don't expect a dime from that. Just so you know, I wasn't involved in that at all. So
yeah, but
I
you're still getting it. It's back
that,
pay. It's like child support. I owe you.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in my contract.
I owe you for sticking with me for so long. We're coming up on 4 years, man.
We are. Even though I'm not there, like that's still just. And I'm like kind of like Hulk Hogan in a way. Like my clauses in my contract are pretty serious. So.
There was a couple of paydays that were pretty big, and Levi's like, "What?"
Yeah, I got it, and I was like, I saw it, and I was like, "Dude, I haven't done the show in 2 months. I don't want this, but I'll take it."
Yeah, but
I spent it.
That's just
spent every dime of it. Yeah. It's always if it's in my PayPal, I usually buy something I don't need with it.
Right.
Like that's what that's for.
That's why I know I needed to send it to you more than anything because I'm like he's gonna want like a game or something
dumb. Yeah.
A new Iron Maiden vinyl, maybe.
Yeah, I need to get some more of those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what do we got here? Got a little Kiss.
We got a little
Kiss over here.
Animalized.
Animalized, and then this is one. It's not the original, but this is Iron Maiden vinyl, Women in Uniform.
Nice.
It was a single. It was never on an album.
That's the one you got off Walmart.com, right?
Yeah, I had to.
Oh shit!
Because I couldn't find it anywhere, and then I got the Run Out Groove, Bloody Kisses.
Yeah. Oh. Drink from the goblet of my cock.
What else do I got? Oh, I got Kiss, Love Gun, of course.
Oh. I guess I could close it with something like that.
Love Gun.
Hang on, I haven't done this in a long time. How's everybody feeling? Did you miss us? Yeah, you did. go over to prowrestlingtees.com/heels and quads. Get all that sweet merchandise. Wow. Ooh. Yeah.
The microphone was having a hard time.
Oh, it always does. Like, anyways, yeah. So,
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys next
just
time.
so everybody knows, you'll always pull the trigger of my talking about my 6-inch pistol. She's gonna turn into 9.
Does he say that?
Good. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, he does.
says that. Oh my god.
Talking about cold gin.
Cold gin. I heard Strutter yesterday.
I heard it the other day too, actually.
Strutter.
All right. We'll talk to you guys at the end of the month. Bash at the Beach 96. Watch along for the main event.
Vouch along.
The hostile takeover.
Who's the third man? Is it Mabel?
Is it Maple? Starcast and all in. All right. Let's do it. Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
Talk to you. Then. Bye.
Next time.